It was just yesterday that we reported in a new interview with Consequence of Sound that Chavo from System of a Down said that the music that the band has been working on has been the best material they've ever done. He says it tops everything that they've ever done, and he was hopeful that they would get a new album done sooner rather than later. He basically says that Serj is still off doing his own thing, but everyone else within the band is ready to go. Well, now Serj has a new interview that's just come out that basically contradicts everything that Chavo just said in that interview, and it just doesn't look good. Now, in this new interview with Rolling Stone, Serj was asked about if anything had changed after each member had said their piece over the summer publicly about the state of the band and why they hadn't been able to release a new album. You'll recall that Serj released a lengthy statement in response to an interview that Darren Malakian did, where Darren basically said that Serj really didn't even want to do Mesmerize or Hypnotize back in 2005, and essentially pointed the finger at him as the main holdout for this album. Serj then released a lengthy statement of his own, saying that he was indeed pretty much responsible for a lot of it, but it had to do more so with royalties and creative vision as well. Regardless of all of that, they do all maintain that they are good friends and they're able to separate business from personal, which is good. But anyways, here's what Serj had to say. He said nothing has really changed on the front of original music from System of a Down. He says, after this situation unfolded, we got together to rehearse, said hi, and had a conversation and just carried things forward as we've always done. We've been friends and together for 25 to 30 years. That's a long time. The difference between business and bands are people know when they're working within a business, but when they're in a band, it's confusing because you're also very close friends. There are times when you have to say, okay, this is not working on the business end, but I love you. With bands, you rarely see that happening. The reason I posted what I did is because I didn't want any negative security threats against any of us in terms of F you, you're the reason that no system records being made. For me, it was saying, look, I've tried, we've tried, we just haven't been able to see eye to eye. It's not because we're lazy, we're still friends, we still tour. This is the truth. And then he was asked if these public statements in the public forum changed anything. He said, no, it didn't really. I think it released a lot of tension and negativity. Everything became more public and open, and that was that. There were no further discussions. Serj then eventually admitted that the music that he had written for new System of a Down material, he is just going to repurpose and release for a solo album. He said, I recently finished mixing a lot of the songs I was hoping we could do with System. I want them to be a part of my music film, so I'm waiting for that. I have finished 5 rock songs. I just did a rock remix yesterday, actually, of one of the revolutionary songs of the Armenian film. It's a rock song in Armenian, and I just did a heavier mix. But obviously I write in orchestral music, jazz, and rock. One reason I like composing for films is because every director wants something different, genre-wise, sound-wise, emotion-wise. It's fun. I get to make a different sounding record every time. So while Chavo and Darren seem to be optimistic that a new album could happen in the near future, Serj makes it sound like there is virtually nothing that has changed. It's also interesting that he points out that he was mainly concerned for his personal safety as it pertained to what happened with all that beef there between those members coming out publicly. He said, quote, the reason I posted what I did is because I didn't want any negative security threats against any of us because, quote, you're the reason that no systems records being made. And that is a real testament to how scary things can be sometimes in the music industry, and particularly when you're in a massive band, you see threats like that being made where people feel like if they're not getting music, and these are not obviously normal people, but people who think that one particular member's to blame and they want to try to attack them. It's just bizarre and quite sad. We'll keep an eye on this situation, but for now it doesn't seem like they're getting any closer, even though just yesterday it sounded very optimistic, seeing that Chavo's going out in interviews and boasting that the material they've done is the best stuff they've ever made, which is exciting, but with one guy not seeming to be so enthusiastic about it, that's just unfortunate. So, all right, check out these recommended videos and hit that subscribe button. Also, for breaking hard rock and heavy metal news, don't forget to turn those notifications on as well. Thanks so much for joining us here at Rockfeed, and we will see you all very soon.